Welcome to the More Phenomenal Podcast, where we talk all things Power Rangers, including action figures, comics, episodes, movies, and more. My name's Doug, joined with my co-hosts Mac and Caitlin. What's going on? Hey.
Oh, I'm just enjoying the last of the fun Power Ranger episodes we have.
Yep.
Who's that? Who's that?
Yeah. Well, on my screen, he's going to be over there. So
he's over there.
For me.
Yeah. So we got a fourth member today. Our sixth ranger, in a sense, if you will.
All right.
Yay!
Jaron, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, man? I'm really excited and honored to be here. I've really been liking what you guys are doing with your channel and your Instagram and your podcast. So I was like, you pumped you asked me to be part of an episode. So
nice. Thanks. Yeah. And then you also have a YouTube channel as well, right?
Yeah, my buddy Lucas and I. We kind of like were inspired a little bit by what you guys were doing, and we always loved just doing big film discussions. So we started a video podcast, kind of like you guys, similar format, where we talk about film and TV basically in a long form dialogue discussion. And we get into not just like reviews of the movies, but also maybe interviews with the directors or how stuff in the movie affects the movie industry as a whole. So just even symbolism. So we get into all kinds of stuff. So
sweet.
So you have a couple of videos up on our channel now. We're called Reel Bros Reviews.
Okay.
Maybe we can throw up a link.
Yeah, I'll throw up a link on
put it right there.
It'll be here, in the description.
But we're very new to YouTube.
Edit the video, so it'll be in the description.
Okay. But yeah, we're super new, so I'll probably be asking you guys for like advice and pointers as we go. But we're just excited to be doing that and love talking about films and stuff.
Sweet.
Well, that's exciting. We'll have to check it out.
Yeah,
thanks.
We're happy to have you on. And kind of a history here. Do you have any affiliation with Power Rangers? I know you're kind of mostly going in blind, but
you do like superheroes, though. I know you're a big superhero guy.
Yeah. So I watched Power Rangers, Mighty Morphin a lot as a kid. That was like my main stuff. I got into Power Rangers in Space and Lost Galaxy, I think.
Yeah.
A bit too. Yeah, but that's about where I fell off. I think the last thing I remember is when I think it was in Lost Galaxy, there was some Purple Ranger who was secretly someone's sister or something.
Oh, Astronema.
Yeah, that's in Space.
Yeah, she becomes the Pink Ranger.
Yeah. They're both in space, so
they're both in yeah.
Yeah, so that's
great
about where I
seasons.
fell off. But I'd also watched the live action movie from a couple years ago, and I had a great time with that.
Oh, well, we think differently.
What? I mean,
I don't really have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
But we kind of liked it in the theater when we saw it, Doug.
That's true. Our first impression was like, wow, that wasn't bad. Like that wasn't Transformers, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't that was like Transformers 1.
Yeah. But we had you can listen back a few episodes. We dissected that, and
man,
we didn't have as much of a fun time rewatching it.
We've gotten all the bad movies out of the way.
Yeah.
We only have the one movie left to review.
Yeah.
I mean, Turbo wasn't that bad.
Yes, it was. Turbo sucked.
I gotta know where you guys stand on the Mighty Morphin movie.
Oh, that's
we
a
love
classic.
the Mighty Morphin movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm all.
I think I haven't watched it in a long time.
I watched it recently. Like I skipped around, and it held up for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Ivanhoe is the best. Can't beat that.
Yeah. I do want to say this episode. So we're jumping into Mystic Force, hence the hat Caitlin is wearing.
I wanted to be on theme.
Yeah. To be fair, Caitlin could have worn that hat any other day, and no one would have batted an eye.
No one would have batted an eye.
Yeah.
I'm looking around
every day now.
Yeah. But I wanted to show you something. We're reviewing a 3-parter, Mystic Force Dark Wish, episodes 18 to 20. And it looks like they released this on DVD, like as a set, right?
As a movie?
Yeah. And it's called, on the DVD cover, it says The Blockbuster Mystic Force Dark Wish.
Oh.
The Blockbuster?
It busted my blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put all 3 episodes together and take away the to be continued, it's its own movie.
Mm-hmm.
It works better than like even like Green with Evil had individual plots within the 5-parter. So it definitely feels more like a continuing plot than maybe some of the other multi-parters do. But
Kind of felt like we were watching Halloween Town Power Ranger version. Because
It
like
kinda
the
re-
black and white.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and especially like because the makeup on like that one monster guy, he looks totally Halloween Town. I can't remember
Yeah,
that guy's
right.
name.
Yeah, the elf dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's kind of get into it a little bit. Mystic Force, a Disney episode, like a Disney
Ooh.
Disney
owned,
season.
yeah, a Disney season. There you go. So Disney owned Power Rangers at the time this is made, and I like to say Mystic Force reminds me. It doesn't seem like I'm watching American Power Rangers. It seems like I'm watching the New Zealand version of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I know. I almost
Yeah.
feel like they should have been more willing to just admit it was New Zealand. Like I feel bad that like Xander is the only one that can get to have his accent because you can tell how hard everyone else is trying to hide their accent.
Mhm.
That's why everyone's talking funny.
Yeah. Everyone's from New Zealand. Yeah.
Oh,
I feel like they should just let them have the New Zealand accents. I mean, there's so many different, like you could have a variety of New Zealand accents, but then everyone else is faking like really bad American accents.
Well,
Oh,
they're
gosh.
witches and wizards anyway, so it's like just live in New Zealand like Lord of the Rings. Who cares?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you know. But Xander, that's why Xander gets to stand out so much because he just like gets to be himself.
Xander.
You know?
Yeah.
The
Before
Pink Ranger is just she's
Oh man.
she overacts so hard to hide her accent, you know.
Yes.
she does. She
I really
hammed it
liked
up.
her though. I think she was one of my favorites.
Really? She was always like scrunching her face and
She's
like-
really
I don't
intense.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
She's
think that's
very
why I
intense,
liked her. I was like, oh, she's like a badass lady. I like her.
She's
I
better
think she
than
did the
Nick.
best in that one fight scene.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that she turns into the soccer ball.
Yeah.
she yells a lot when she's fighting, you know, even
Yeah.
with the helmet on.
Yeah.
Now, question: are the two girls sisters?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
because they
With-
said sis, and I never really clarified on that.
And that's
so-
kind of a first for Power Rangers, right? Because we
Well, we just talked about how the astronomer and him and
yeah, but
Andros and brothers.
they're brother and sister. I just mean
Yeah.
but also
Spoiler.
siblings on the same team is kind of rare.
Yeah, especially you usually save that for like, whoa, who's this mystery ranger? It's your brother. You know, it's
Yeah,
not
right.
It's
Exactly.
not start of the team.
Yeah.
But before we dive actually further into it, thank you to Carnage DeCarlo for recommending this episode. Appreciate it.
Yay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And if more people want us to watch Mighty Morphin or Ninja Steel or Beast Morphers specific episodes, let us know, since that will be what is all left in the following weeks.
Yay, Ninja
Yeah.
Steel.
This episode is it's 3 parts, right? So
Yeah.
I guess, do you want to say like the gist of it, Mac, of what's going on, and then we can kind of cherry pick and jump around
Yeah.
kind of the overall theme of the
well,
story plot?
Yeah, like the problem I think with sometimes with Power Rangers you can they're very disjointed in terms of how they're adapting the Sentai footage.
Mhm.
And this kind of felt that way, where it felt like they didn't really quite have all the footage they really wanted to convey the story they were trying to tell. So like it felt like in the beginning, like you had a lot happening. It was like cut like when the bar. Okay, first of all, let me just explain the plot like you asked. In the episode, sort of the backdrop is they're about to celebrate the year anniversary of the record store that they work
Mhm.
at.
Mhm.
And meanwhile, what's sort of happening around that is this idea that the Power Rangers might be abusing their magic. That like they are overusing it, over relying on magic for everyday things instead of facing the challenge of, you know, doing it the hard way or doing it the right way.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, the villain whose name I don't know, the guy they call Mummy Face.
Yeah. Okay.
He releases the what did they call him? The it was like barbarian. It was like barbeasts. Like
Yeah.
The bar beasts.
the
5 barbarian beasts.
barbarian. It was like Barbara beasts or something. Yeah. And they are, according to Korag, like they don't have honor. Like they don't fight with honor. You know. it seems like there's a lot of villain politics that we can't follow.
Yes.
We haven't been watching the season,
Uh-huh.
but I really love like something that like, you can only get from Power Rangers and Sentai are the bad guys. They just have such a unique look. And especially I loved the barbarian beasts. I thought they were all very cool. Like
Yeah, I really like their costumes.
the War Max guy that looked like a samurai, I love that he obviously was like, he made a lot more sense in Japanese, you can tell, because he was following all these like classic samurai tropes. Like he was always drinking like out of that like gourd and stuff.
He had a cool mustache.
He had the cool mustache. But I definitely like the rivalry with Korag. Like you can't help but love Korag because he's a villain that fights with honor, but
he's a good villain.
He's a good villain. He's so I almost feel like our alliance is over is his catchphrase. He's like, I'm teaming up with you, but just until we fight again. It's like, are you a good guy or not? Just admit it. But yeah, that's kind of the basic thing that's happening. So they have to fight these bad guys, and
bad guys get a hold of their genie and make a wish that the Power Rangers never existed.
It perfectly to like every day send a bad guy out for the Power Rangers, and they were just exhausted to the point where they were like basically begging to just let the genie loose and do all the hard work.
Well, Gingy
as,
can,
teenagers would do.
Yeah,
he can alter reality, so it feels like the right idea, and they obviously haven't learned their lesson yet about magic, so I can't blame them for being like, let's use the genie, like shoot the genie out of your genie gun, dude. Like
why do we have the genie if we don't use the genie? By the way, is my favorite character.
The genie.
I love the genie.
Gingy is great. He's
I love him.
He's really funny. When we get to the part later on with the nails, that part's so funny.
So that would be me as a genie.
But yeah, they fight all these villains, and it happens really quick, like in succession. It feels like we had 2 Megazord fights in like the first 5 minutes of the first episode.
Yeah,
and
really fast.
Really fast. I do like that the Mystic Force guys turn into their Megazords. It's like, why not? You're magic,
cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and then they just turned into it, and I was like, oh.
And
that's
the sequence
cool.
is kind of cool when it all happens, when they're like growing, and I'm like,
yeah,
oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't help but feel like it's awesome that Wizards tapped into the morphing grid. Everybody gets their turn to tap into the morphing grid at some point.
Yeah. Sweet. Thanks, Mac. I think probably the best, instead of going through like every, like in succession, we'll just kind of jump around the episode.
Yeah.
I do like how the bad guys were like, we should take out Korag. It's like, should we? And it's like, the guy who looks the closest like a Power Ranger, we should take him out.
That guy is straight up a Power Ranger. Yeah.
We're all these dark colors, and we got this purple dude walking around
the forest.
Yeah.
I was so confused at the beginning. Like they're like making pizza with their magic, and then it just cuts to this purple Power Ranger, and he's like, come on out, guys. I'm like, what is going on here?
That fight seems cool though, when he fights was it 50 Below and Fido? Like you named the dog guy Fido? I couldn't do that.
Fido, yeah.
A question I actually have: who's the funny person on this team? Is it Xander or is it the Yellow Ranger guy?
Or is it Chip?
Chip.
I think Chip's supposed to be.
I feel like Chip is meant to be the comic relief, but Xander is just really like endearingly funny.
Well, it's different because it's like Chip is more innocently funny and Xander is like cocky funny. So they feel
like
different.
When they asked him what would you want, he goes, my cape. Everyone's like, oh, I want everyone to be back to normal. I want there to be love and color. My cape. I want my cape.
Yeah.
I like their capes. I think the Mystic Force costumes are cool. I think I like that they're really laying into their color. Like they have even the colored gloves. There's not a lot of white, so I like that about them.
Yeah.
But
one of the a rapping theme song for the Mystic Rangers.
Here comes the
like
Power
the
Rangers.
song.
Yeah, I kind of like the Mystic Force theme too. Yeah.
I can't. How
I
does it
actually
go?
listened to it all 3 times. I was doing my makeup, like
Whoa.
jamming out to it. I was like, this is a good song. I like this one.
I don't know
can't-
the chorus, but I know the like. Here comes the Power Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
Here comes the Power
Power
Rangers.
Rangers.
Yeah.
Here come the Power Rangers.
Mystic Force.
I didn't even know what year this came out when I started watching it, but then when the theme song started, I was like, oh, this is mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
Like like somewhere between 2005 and 2010, because all TV shows had a theme song that was like this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost feels like it's hard to tell what time period it is because even their even their outfits are kind of dated for when the episode came out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, we talked about the Red Ranger. He wears a vest with no undershirt.
Dude, the sweater vest with no shirt underneath.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, you're not
Where's
Terry
that?
Crews.
Yeah.
I have to say, I like that the Pink Ranger is the only one wearing like this like waist corset. It just makes her like look even more badass. Like everyone has like, these like cool designed vest things. And then she like walks in with like this like waist corset. And I'm like, you look like a badass who needs a beer and would kick some ass.
Yeah, she's got the pixie cut.
Yeah.
I like that Chip had the yellow T-shirt that had like almost like this regal crest on it with the
Mhm.
knight helmet. You
Mhm.
can tell that the costume designer like found that and was like, "Oh, it's perfect! Like it's yellow, it's got magic stuff. Like this is it." Like,
I think the Blue Ranger is my favorite of the team.
he's a much better actor than the Pink Ranger. But like, come on, Xander steals the show. in
He
my opinion.
does.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I was just thinking that actually before we got on, how the Green Ranger, is there a season where they don't steal the show? Maybe Lightspeed Rescue, but for the
It
most part,
depends. Yeah, like maybe. Well, no, and even in Lightspeed Rescue, he's funny. Like I feel like
Samurai, he's
maybe
pretty good.
Lost Galaxy, Damon isn't stealing the show as much. No one's really stealing the show in Lost Galaxy, to be honest. Like,
Wow, tell us how you really feel, Mac.
well, I mean, like I love that season, but like, there's not a funny one. Like, I can't think of who the funny one is.
Yeah.
Well, probably because they're lost in space.
Well, they're also professionals, so like,
We've got no
but-
time to be funny. We're lost.
yeah, we live in a friggin' space station.
Let's stay on the Red Ranger because I was just not vibing him
I
this
didn't like
entire
him.
time.
Nick
Yeah.
He
sucks.
kind of was like, I don't know. He just didn't seem like he could do anything.
Well, there's a point where Korag, he gets betrayed, right? And then Korag comes
That
up.
fight was cool when Korag fights the two guys.
Yeah.
That was cool.
The fighting was all great in this.
Oh, I love when Chip.
Favorite.
Sorry, but like when earlier on when they're fighting the first time and Chip gets beat up, and then he comes back like and he shows up on the motorcycle and then he
yeah.
like kicks a bunch of butt. I like that part a lot too. It was like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, like Chip's got it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But I was gonna say I like I don't like when Korag gets betrayed. He comes up to the Rangers after they've lost their powers and they're in this alternate reality. He
yeah,
puts his sword in the ground, and then he steps back and he's like, "We need to talk." And then Nick takes the sword out and he's like, "Gonna fight him."
yeah.
Dude, come on.
Like,
Bro.
he's got something to prove, apparently.
Nick has no honor. He's the barbarian beast of Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so true, though.
Yeah, but also like I don't know. He just doesn't do anything to impress me. Like
I just like that no one seems to like talking to Nick, and Xander just keeps. I'll handle it. Hi, I'm Xander.
yeah, hi,
Yeah.
that's his catchphrase. Hi, I'm Xander.
Yeah, they did give Nick the 6-pack shot in that fight scene. I was like, okay,
Damn,
that guy's
yeah,
kind
when
of
he
ripped.
That was kind of a cool kick too, where he balances
Yeah.
on one hand and like does the kick. Yeah, and you
Yeah,
see his
yeah.
abs.
Yeah.
That
Let's talk about that scene because that came out. So they have to go.
Well, let's
They-
talk about the wish first.
Okay, perfect.
Because okay, so after Gingy gets captured by Fido, they wish that there was never any Power Rangers,
Mhm,
which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right. That's what
Um,
a villain would do.
that's what a villain would do, and I liked it. Like, I kind of like the world draining of color. It sort of reminded me of the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like
got that.
oh,
Yeah.
this is how
The
we
winds
show.
of desaturation.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like what's the easiest way to convey that magic is gone? Oh, no color, and it kind of reminded me of, especially when they find Udana and Claire in the woods. It reminded me of that episode of Powerpuff Girls where they accidentally run into the future and him is taken over Townsville.
Oh, gosh,
Yeah. And like Miss Bellum is just like waving forever, like goodbye, girls. Goodbye, girls. Like it kind of reminded me of that, except it's the reverse of that because like it's like they. But the idea that like when Udana's like this like crazy hobo in the woods and she's like, the Rangers never came. Like, why didn't they come? I was like, I was feeling that. I was like, this is kind of scary,
So
Really?
why did the one guy why did he disappear? Because
because
no Power Rangers.
because they as the Power Rangers freed him. Like
From what?
he would have never been there if they hadn't found him. Like he was trapped, right? Like they
Yeah.
rescued Daggeron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 'Cause
Is
I was like,
Daggeron related to the Purple Ranger guy?
They have a beef. Yeah, they have a
They have a
history.
beef? Okay,
Yeah.
because I noticed that their costumes were like the most similar. So I'm like, maybe it's like a Gandalf and Saruman situation.
Basically, they're the two knights. So yeah, they
Yeah.
have that going on
Yeah.
for sure.
And then they don't know it yet, but Nick, the Red Ranger, is the son of him and Udana,
What?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
what?
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
really?
why
And I like her, Donna. She's like super chill and
Udon is
has an
cool.
asshole son.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Nick shows up on his motorcycle in the first episode. He's like, I don't know what my
Of course
origin
he
is.
did. Oh,
but
it's such a
yeah,
that was such
Yeah.
a Red Ranger thing to do. Oh, my
it
God.
is. It is.
Yeah.
He just feels like a cliche, and he doesn't do anything to like build himself up beyond the Red Ranger stereotype.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
that's really funny. Of course he came out on a
What was I gonna
make
say?
Korag the leader. He's
I do
like-
have to say my favorite scene is when they were in the desert and they were fighting the like sand
Yes.
people.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to call them.
Mhm.
the like fallen warriors.
The Casey
Yeah, the
Jones
fallen
looking
warriors.
dude.
Yeah, and all of the guys were like, and this is just me as a female watcher. All the guys were like being like thrown to the ground, and the two girls are just like kicking butt, like never being thrown down.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. Yeah.
You're
I
taking
was
like
like,
3 guys at a time, and each guy has like one big guy, and they just keep getting thrown down. I'm like, meh.
oh, the Yellow Ranger guy, he got punked in that fight. I was
Yeah.
like, this guy is
Yeah.
the least convincing fighter
Yeah.
actor.
He's
They
like,
I've
definitely
ever
get
seen.
thrown
Duck.
around. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, is it one of the girls does a cool drop kick that I noticed?
I think that was the
Mhm.
Blue Ranger.
Yeah. So the point of that fight, they gotta go. They learned that there's these 3 like magical.
Korag tells them that they have to go to find the magical tribunal, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's a way to they can reverse a wish.
Yeah, but they're in another dimension.
Yeah. So
I
they
like
got
that. Sorry, I was gonna say I like that in this universe, Korag raised the dragon. I thought that was a cool twist.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah. It's my dragon now.
it's my dragon now. The dragon flying around scenes looked really good, and I can't help but think that like making it black and white helped hide the CGI and made it look more impressive.
That's a good point.
That's a good
Oh,
point.
But
Yeah, I
anyway.
really liked it in black and white, and then when they ended up in the other dimension and the color came back, I was like less impressed with.
Look
the
how
dragon.
cheesy it immediately looked. Yeah, when they're
Yeah.
sitting next to the dragon on that sand dune, I was like, oh, go back to the freaking Wizard of Oz, you know? But-
Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe like as soon as they walk over a hill and you can't see the dragon anymore, it's like, oh, we got color back. You know?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they find that guy is what we're getting at.
Yes.
They
Yes.
find
So
that guy.
they find the guy. He says to pass them, they need to defeat the warriors who have fallen.
Trying
So-
to find the
Like a Mad
tribunal.
Max character.
Yeah.
It looked cool, but I love that like fighting fallen warriors trope. I
Mhm.
think that's cool. Like I remember like Samurai
Prove
Jack had to
yourself.
do that, you know, where
Yeah.
like he had to fight all the guys that lost that one dude.
So this is how it works, right, Max? So there's the one guy, and then before the Rangers came, another warrior came. He defeated him, so now he's like his zombie buddy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then another person came, and then they
They
2-on-1.
ganged up on that guy. Yeah.
And then now the Rangers
It's like
show
that
up.
one game you play in PE as a kid, like a octopus, where you have to like run across the the court, and if you get tagged, then you're like an octopus, and then you
Oh,
tag
right.
other people.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder
Well-
if this dude was like, oh crap, there's 5 of them this time.
I know, like a team, like that's my one weakness.
Yeah. Like I can just imagine them in the stand, they're like, oh, we have a new person. Okay,
man.
let's get ready, guys. Pop up. Oh man.
Yeah.
And they didn't even have to win the fight. They just had to fight long enough to be impressive. You know, they're like,
Yeah.
okay, you earned it. I'm like, but you didn't win. You know?
Yeah, Nick like kicked
Okay,
a
I'll turn
couple of them
back into
in
sand.
oblivion, and then the other guys just left.
Yeah, they're like,
okay,
all right, we're
that's
done. We're
fine.
done. Yeah.
Cool.
So then they get a key, and then they get 2 doors.
Hmm.
A white
do-
door and a black door.
Yeah.
I do like though, before we move on, that when they run up to that dude, they're like, Xander's like, I got this. Like, hey,
Oh yeah.
I'm looking for we're looking for the tribunal. And he's like, oh, the tribunal. Like, yeah, you're on the right path. Like, I thought that was like such a funny
was-
transition because he was like,
Well,
he's
because they
like,
were
"Punch it."
just talking
Nick was
about
ready to
how
throw
they were
hands.
Like,
yeah,
they were like, how do we know we're even on the right path? And
Yeah.
then this like random guy shows up. Yeah, you're on the right path.
I thought that was. And he's like, oh, but you got to fight me. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Yeah. but he had such a like. His voice didn't even sound like how I expected him to. So I was like,
No.
oh, this guy's not scary. Like,
Yeah.
I love how he's like his mouth is covered, but his eyes are like super blacked out. Not like his eyeballs, but his eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he had kind of a cool look. This like zombie ninja guy, but
I
Yeah.
know. I kind of wish he was like more of a character because he looked so cool.
I know. It was like way to go all out for that one outfit for that dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Um,
Exactly.
but yes, they find the 2 doors.
Mhm.
And then
And
one.
he tells them they have to make the right choice.
I
Yeah.
like how they open the
his
door
hint.
with the key that they got, and it's like the world, like they're with the world they know.
Mhm.
But they're like, wait a minute, this is too easy. And I was like, is it too easy? Like I got thinking about that. I was like,
You just fought all these guys.
but like, what would have happened if they had gone through that door? Do you think it would have been a trap? Like it wasn't actually
Probably.
the world that they knew, you know? Or
It
would they have?
probably would have been another dimension.
Yeah, it almost felt like, is that one where they're not Power Rangers, but the world isn't evil? Like how? Like,
That's what
what's
I
going
thought.
on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
Um,
point.
Because you got all the way there to take away the evil, but you're still not magical.
Yeah, like would going through that door take away the wish? Because it almost seemed like it would.
Mhm.
But then they were like,
Mm.
no. But I do respect that the episode's message is that you have to, make the harder choice. So, they
Magic shouldn't
ultimately,
Yeah,
Come
they
easy.
conveyed that message better than Wonder Woman 1984 did.
yeah, they really did.
Before we move on to the second door, I liked how it started randomly raining during the fight scene.
I know. I was like, is it only raining for the Pink Ranger? And then it came back later for Nick, and I'm like, okay.
Anytime
so-
it slowed down, you could see the rain, but then like when it was normal speed, it was like not raining.
because it was a digital effect. So I was
I
like,
was-
yeah, is it raining or not?
I was
Yeah.
noticing how dirty some of them got, but then the other ones were like their clothes were perfectly clean.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the mud? Isn't it raining? Yeah.
Another favorite part of mine that I noticed is when they're walking before they get to the sand people.
Mhm.
When they're walking, Nick's footprints don't leave an indent in the sand. You would think if you're walking in hills of sand, you'd be struggling to walk, but there are no footprints in the sand.
It's because he's magic.
He's a ghost.
He's a
Yeah, he's
Nick was
not
a
real.
ghost.
He
No.
was Skywalkered it.
Ghost baby.
Yeah, he looks Skywalker.
Yeah. He just astral projected there. Yeah.
He's not even wearing. He's wearing a full shirt in his projection. But in his
Oh.
projection, he's like, I'm gonna just wear a vest. You know?
I know. I love it. It's like, what are you gonna wear to the party, Nick? I'm like, I couldn't decide what shirt to wear, so just the vest. I'm just gonna rock it.
The vest
And
was
that's
like,
his work
Fine.
uniform too.
yeah.
It is. I
Well,
thought they
that's-
wore like those like bowling shirts when they're working.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
at the
they-
party. That's his party outfit.
That's
then.
his party outfit. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. So, but yeah. Do you think that was a tactic by the bad guys to be like, I think we can win if, like, we make it rain? They won't expect it.
Yeah, they're like, they're not properly dressed for the rain, so let's take advantage of that.
It would have worked on me.
Yeah, like I can't
Been
fight in
like
the rain,
rain.
guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
I
then
didn't bring my rain jacket and boots, guys.
Yeah. Only the Yellow Ranger has a rain jacket.
Yeah.
the Blue Ranger's wearing a hoodie.
The Blue Ranger does have a hoodie. That's true. So she
Yeah.
was equipped for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then they decide to go through the harder door.
The big swirly vortex door. The freaking tribunal looked awesome.
I
They
loved
looked-
them. They were cool.
Were they from Sentai? Because those costumes were really impressive.
The like onesie suits kind of thing.
With the masks and the heads and like, I mean, you like that had some serious atmosphere. Like that felt like a
Mm.
magical tribunal. That could have been a scene in Buffy, you know? So
good
anyway,
point.
it was just cool to see like
I
that.
kind of wish. I wonder if they go into it more depth later. Like I don't know
Maybe.
if the magical tribunal comes back up, but I want to know what the colors represent. Like you can kind of figure out black and white represent like good magic and dark magic, but what's the red represent?
Right,
I was
like
thinking
somewhere
about that,
between.
like life,
Blood
like
magic,
life and death, or in like spirit or conscience or something.
right?
Hmm.
It gets you thinking, and that's my point.
That was
It could
cool.
have-
Yeah,
It could have easily been 3 CGI balls of light, but they actually had some cool stuff going on.
Yeah.
those costumes would have creeped me out if I watched this as a kid. So
Kinda, yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
that's a good point. Yeah,
they
it could
also
have been
kind of
just
looked like
three
if
dudes.
like if Frank Miller wrote what the future of Teletubbies were, it would be them.
They did look like Teletubbies.
With
Look like
the,
creepy,
head thing.
Yeah.
no face, you know?
I
Yeah.
was like,
The gritty
Mm.
Teletubby reboot, you
mhm.
know?
And their face, like their mouths don't move when they talk.
The
So it's
masks,
just
yeah.
like, yeah, the masks don't move. So it's just like this like faceless
Hmm.
face.
I don't know. I was certainly impressed with that because there's
Yeah, that was
already a
cool.
lot going on, and you know, Power Rangers doesn't often like go above and beyond that way where they're not like they're not taking like funny enough, the Power Ranger franchise doesn't take the lesson this episode is teaching us. You know, like often they'll take the easy way out. So it was cool to see them be like, no, like you know, here are these costumes. So
Yeah.
I will say also the Red Tribunal's voice reminded me of a game show host. It was
Yeah.
so deep and like
Oh,
friendly,
yeah.
like, oh, by the way, if you take this door, then
yeah.
we voted no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. The one in all black was just like annoyed at him.
He was a
I know
jerk.
he was a jerk. But yeah, the red
Well, I
ones, the
think
red
he-
and the white
yeah.
ones seem nice. I would hang out with them.
And the
Yeah,
white
they were
one was
great.
just like, no, give them, you know, goodness and give them hope. And everyone's like, shut up.
Nina was so frustrated by that scene. She hated how they were talking in circles the whole time. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
like because it seemed like they kept covering the same point over and over about like why they were there and what they wanted, and they were like, well, we only provide magic. Like dark magic is magic. And then and then
Yes.
and then Xander's like, you can't possibly expect us to believe that dark magic and light magic are the same. And they didn't even give an answer. They're just
They
like,
didn't.
I was like,
I expected that there was going to be some sort of lesson in that. Like you have to find the
Me
light
too.
within the dark. So I was
Mm.
like, oh, they're just giving them a hint to go back. And
Yeah,
Go
that's what I thought.
And-
That was interesting.
My son's in
me
the room.
too. They'd go back and like turn the dark magic good or something, you know?
yeah, and I was like, oh, they're gonna have to like
Yeah.
find the source of the black magic and then like make it into light magic, and then they didn't. And I was like, well, that was a waste of a sentence.
It almost feels like the tribunal was figuring it out as they were going along. They were like, "What should we do? I don't know. We're mostly bored." Like,
Yeah.
Oh look, they're fighting back.
Yeah,
yeah,
I thought they were gonna exactly what you said. Just be like, well, there's magic, use it. You know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just because it's dark magic doesn't mean you have to be bad. I was like, that was what I thought the lesson was going to be, that as long as there's magic, then you can find a way to fix things. And then they just helped them and
Yeah,
fixed it for them.
they go back
I
to
was
the real
actually
world.
annoyed.
I know. I was like, "What kind of like what is this like Yoda philosophy you're trying to convey right now?
Mhm.
Like, stick to your guns or whatever." But they go back to the real world and then just like show some gumption, and then the
Yeah.
tribunal's like, "You know what? No, like they're chill."
Yeah.
Yeah,
then they decided
let's
to
fix
do
it for
that.
them.
Yeah,
I don't know what they were expecting. Like they haven't had any people in 3 centuries, but then like, did they know the other Power Rangers exist? Like, there's teenagers who fight for goodness. What do you think they were gonna
and that's
do?
another thing. thing. You haven't had someone come to you in 3 centuries, then these people are probably worth helping.
Yeah.
And that's probably why they jerked them around so much, because they were like wanted to keep the conversation going. They're like, please
they
don't
didn't want to be
leave. We're
bored again.
lonely. Yeah.
You're
they-
stuck here forever.
They probably have never met Power Rangers before, because they only
Probably.
deal with like the magical world, and the Mystic Force Rangers. Like this is only the second team that's ever existed, right? Because like the original team was all wizards or something
Oh.
like that.
I honestly don't know.
I
Yeah,
can't remember.
That's your
well,
guys'
like,
stuff.
It's like segmented. So some seasons it's like, oh, there was a team before us, and in some they're like in their own pocket dimensions kind of thing. It
Oh.
depends on each
I
season.
thought they were all just sequels. Okay, that's good to know.
But my point is that even if other Rangers did exist, because technically we do know they are, because Xander's in Once a Ranger, but like
Yes.
but my point is that like that doesn't mean the magical tribunals met Rangers. They probably met wizards and knights and other people that have quested to meet them. Like this is the
Yeah.
first time the Rangers would have ever had to do that. So it's like they're not going to meet the Mighty Morphin Rangers. That's
No.
going to be like Zordon and like alien stuff. That's going to be like some other thing.
That's a
Yeah.
good point.
Did they're like, who stole your genie? Like whose deal was that? And Nick
Yeah.
was like, well, sometimes it just happens. It's like, no, you guys.
Yeah, that's the universe. Like we didn't cause that. Yeah.
I mean, I had 2 feelings on this because
too.
yes, in a fighting, things happen that you are not planning for. So they are just human. Like, yeah, they have magical powers, but they're still human. They can't fight 4 fights in a row. Granted, they are Power Rangers, so they should be able to.
Right,
but
right,
anyways.
yeah. No, it's like this
So,
is supposed to happen once a
Using
week.
the genie makes sense.
Yeah.
And the genie getting captured is actually no one's fault. Like, I mean, any of them could have gotten captured and it wouldn't have been anyone's real fault. So I was kind of annoyed by like them saying that, like, well, whose fault was it? Well, if you paid attention to the fight, you would know.
And if it's
But then-
anyone's
Yeah,
go
no,
ahead,
go
sorry.
ahead.
No, if it's anyone's fault, it's Daggeron's, because he didn't have to listen to them. He's in control.
True.
He's in
Yeah.
control of Gingy, and he said no the entire time, and then succumbed to the peer pressure at the end. You know,
Peer pressure of teenagers.
exactly. Yeah. Come on, just one hit. Come on, like, I don't know, guys. Yeah. Anyway,
I did think it was
so
funny
that
how
part,
this-
like I found. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just saying, I think it was funny how this whole thing started because the Power Rangers were tired. I'm like, has that ever been a plot point? Like, yeah, we're just
That's
tired.
true.
We're
No,
not-
there's actually I maybe there's over 500 episodes, so who knows. But I know there's a comic recently where it's like a life, like Jason's life, and he wakes up at like 4 a.m., trains, goes to school, trains some more, beats up a monster, does homework, and then does it again.
yeah.
Well, that's kind of
That tires me just hearing it.
I mean, Jason's
That's
arms
hardcore.
look like he lifts any chance he gets, and so I buy that. But
Well, there's a car that needs lifting. Lift.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, like even in Once a Ranger, when we watched it last week, the Rangers were quick to give up when they lost their powers. So it's not like they kind of did the same thing. They're taking the easy way out in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, why even bother if we're not Rangers anymore? So,
Yeah, that's true.
but I don't know.
I don't know. I had such mixed feelings on that part because I thought they looked so badass, the tribunal, but then at the same time, I was like, that scene made no sense.
It did feel like they had a lot of pieces that made for a good 3-parter, but that it didn't quite all come together to be
Like
what
there
they
was a
wanted it to
missing
be.
a jigsaw puzzle.
It could have been one episode, in my opinion. If
Good
they
point.
cut the
Or a
fat,
2-parter.
yeah,
Yeah.
or a 2-parter if they really, yeah. But
Jumping back, just because it
Mhm.
popped in my head, we can come back to the tribunal again. But when, oh gosh, what's her name? What's the leader girl's name? Udana? Yeah, Udana.
Yeah.
She goes crazy in 4 months. So I was like, that's pretty. Is that the normal time someone goes crazy in 4 months? Like that's
I know,
really
I know.
quick.
I mean, maybe when you live in a forest.
but
True.
technically, she had been waiting for a long time, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess like
The evil only took place 4 months ago.
only 4 months
Yeah.
ago, and you were living in that tree up until then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. 4 months is a long time. I can go crazy in a day sometimes.
I mean, look
depending
at
on what's
how
going
the
on.
state of the world is right now. I mean,
True.
Yeah,
True.
how
yeah.
quickly
There's
do
no
people lose
magic.
their
No
mind?
I mean,
magic.
you're stuck in a forest for 4 months.
And we're not
I mean,
fighting
people
monsters.
go to forest to find magic.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I just like how the Power Rangers never came, and it's like, well,
I'm a
There's
hobo.
5 of us here.
Yeah. Like I love how they're like, we're here now, and she's like, it's too late. Like basically, I was like, you're kind of admitting it's them, but you've just given up on like, it's like, oh yeah, you guys are the Power Rangers. Okay, well, too late.
Yeah.
I like
Why
the
didn't you
side
show up 4
girl.
months ago?
What's
Oh,
side girl?
Claire?
Claire?
Yeah, where she was like, why don't you just use magic to clean it up? And Claire said, well, I feel a sense of accomplishment when I do it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
If I had magic, I would be using it for everything.
yeah.
I know. It's like early on, it felt like there really weren't a lot of consequences for you using magic to like spin a record or make a cake. You know,
Yeah.
maybe if Wonder Woman had wished for a cake and then struggled to make a cake herself, she would have learned that lesson in the movie. But didn't quite happen like that.
Yeah. It made the Wonder Woman jumping into Wonder Woman. It made me think like some of their wishes were probably like, I wish I had $100, and it's like that didn't hurt anyone, right? Or they like she had to convince them to give the $100 back.
Or
Yeah.
maybe, well, maybe it was $100.
But you still like lose your soul or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well,
Over
it's like
$100.
it's Fairly Odd Parents rules. You can't materialize something; it has to come from somewhere. So, like, I remember
True.
in the Halloween episode, Timmy wishes for one of the Pumpkinator costumes from Crash Nebula, and Cosmo and Wanda are like, "Sorry, Timmy, there's only 5 costumes they ever made, and they all were raffled off in one. So, and we can't make you a raffle ticket because those like." It already happened, you know. I was like, all right, that's kind of bullshit, but okay. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah.
that's just
Fairly Odd Parents teaching you.
them's the breaks. Those are duh rules, you know. But
The book of rules.
yeah.
Yeah, and then so they come back and they're fighting. It's still in black and white, and
They-
then they
they get-
prove to the tribunal that they are legit Power Rangers and they aren't just, snooty humans. And then they're like, here, we'll just give you your powers back.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
interesting. It's like they fought their way out of being put into a prison or something.
Yeah, and then they gave him a boost. Like, how
Yeah,
about
and then they got their
this?
power upgrade. Yeah. They
Yeah. Not only do they reverse the wish, they're like, here's some more.
Here's some extra power.
we actually have power to spare. We haven't talked to anyone in a while.
Yeah.
It's usually
That's such a
discussed.
weird tribunal. Like, we don't care if there's good or evil magic. It could be all evil, and we're fine with it.
I feel like they're.
Again, that whole thing confuses me.
Have you ever seen that Futurama episode where they go to the planet of only robots and they have to go up against the tribunal, but they just keep saying silence? Like they're like interrupting each other. They're like, well, silence. Like that's what it kind of reminded me of. I'm like, you guys aren't making any progress. You're just saying vague tribunal-y stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like anyway.
Yeah.
I did like when Korag when they thought Korag was dead and that one dude started giving him a eulogy.
Oh,
Yes.
I forgot
That was so
about that.
funny.
That was really funny. Yeah, I can't remember what he said, but that was
He's
really
like-
funny.
And that guy played like no role in the rest of the episode. He just
Yeah.
shows up.
I know.
And he's like
a-
watching the sword and he's like, oh, if I don't say so myself, I'll just help myself with this sword.
I know like how like Korag remembered what happened because maybe it was because he's a villain and they weren't affected by it.
Yeah.
But then why is that? But then like obviously your whole timeline changed too because you ended up raising the dragon. So how is it that like you getting beat up and rescued by this like troll guy also still happened? Like I was confused about that, but whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's a
like
good
who gets to
point.
keep their memory?
Yeah, who gets to
Yeah.
keep their memory and like what stayed and what didn't
Well, they
stay?
said that only the Power Rangers kept their memories, so maybe he had like some secret apocalyptic underground.
Maybe
Well,
that
I
means
think
he's a
the
Power
villains-
Ranger.
Because
the
he is a
villains-
ranger. Yeah.
true. He said, Korag, he got these really nice these boots. He got really nice boots.
Saved them.
Yeah.
It was the
Look at these
shield.
boots.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he's like, well, if the sword, gonna go to waste.
Oh yeah. He's got these boots. Sorry, I forgot what you're talking about. Yeah, that was.
Oh yeah.
yeah. He's got.
I
I
these
liked
boots.
him.
Yeah.
Him and the genie are like I loved the two of their characters.
Oh man, yeah.
Little
So
troll
like,
guy.
the woman that popped the balloons at the party was a villain. I didn't know that. I didn't.
Yeah,
She
didn't
had like a
either.
totally sinister vibe, but I don't know who the heck she's supposed to be.
Yeah, I thought she was just like a human person that like a C plot like side
that they don't
Yeah.
like
person. Yeah.
the quasi Balkan skull of the season, you know.
Yeah.
But
I was looking for the Balkan skull of the show.
I think it's the elf dude.
it's the
Yeah, I
freaking
think
troll
he is.
dude. Yeah.
Really?
He's the Balkan skull. He's the comic relief.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he only showed up for this episode.
No,
That's
he's in like
random.
he's in every episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's
He's in the
also in-
opening credits.
Cool.
He's also in multiple seasons of Power Rangers. That actor is. They always put him in makeup too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Funny.
always playing an alien or a monster or something.
Funny.
What was I gonna say? Oh, you know
So
what?
the-
That Claire, wait, not Claire, the villain girl who popped the balloons.
Yeah.
I think when we watched the first episode, Mac, didn't she come in at the end and we never knew she was a bad guy?
Oh, maybe because she hadn't been she wasn't a bad guy yet.
Yeah.
We've
Or
only watched
undercover.
We've only watched the first episode and the Daggeron episode, so I don't really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Tell us in the comments who she is, people.
Yeah,
Yeah. I'm sure she's the daughter of the villain. It's always the daughter of the villain.
but when she frees Gingy and she's like,
she kind of looked like Claire's evil sister or something.
maybe, yeah, that she could be an evil Claire.
Because they were both blonde. Not saying all blondes are evil, but she just happened to look like.
But they do all look the same, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. But she pulls out Gingy, and Gingy's like super excited. He's like, yes, I grant you a wish. What
I
wish
think
would you like?
I think he was excited to get freed, but I also love that he was like, yes, you get one wish, etc. Like he kind of like wasn't super enthused. He was like,
yeah.
he's like, all right, let's get
What
this.
should I wish for?
He's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. Which is biting her nails. It's like, oh, I know. I wish I had never started biting my nails. Okay, done. I love. Gingy's like, all right, it's been real. But I gotta go.
I love Gingy.
Yeah, that was funny. She couldn't see that coming, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I don't
I
think
loved
she
at the
first
end of the
saw it.
episode, they like the guy wishes for something on his little cake, and they're like, no. That was a great way to end the episode.
I
think.
thought that was a good way
So
too.
yeah, I guess I'll just make a wish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the legendary mode. So they come
Oh,
back.
yeah,
They
Super
fight.
Saiyan.
Super Saiyan. Yeah.
Basically.
They fight in their with no powers, and then the tribunal's like, whatever. We'll just reverse it.
Yeah. Why
And they
not?
also
We're
help
omnipotent.
Kordak as well.
What's that?
They also help Kordak as well. They're like, oh well, he may be a bad guy, but he fights with honor. We should give him his power too.
Did he lose power? Wait, what did
Yeah, you
I
remember
vaguely
they
remember
lost-
this?
He lost his powers too because they were trying to get him and the master to like the Yeti and Fido were, I forgot what the Yeti's name was.
50 below.
50 below.
He looks like a
and
hockey
him-
player.
We're trying to get Kordak and the master to basically lose their powers.
Hmm.
And so I don't really remember how he explained he lost his powers, but he said he lost his powers in the wish as well. Maybe
Okay,
because he's
I don't
a
remember
Power
that either,
Ranger,
yeah.
He's just a bad Power
Yeah, he
Ranger.
did say that. So maybe he is a Power
so he
Ranger.
didn't have any powers, and he basically said the tribunal won't give me my powers back, but I can get you yours. And so then the tribunal was
Right.
watching him as well, and they were like, "Oh well, even though he's a bad guy, he fights with honor, so he should get his powers back too." And so then they give him his powers, and then everyone fights together.
I suppose theoretically, a villain could get their powers from the Morphin Grid too. If you think about people like the Magna Defender, like he wasn't necessarily all noble. He had like revenge in mind until they
Yeah.
kind of convinced him to become a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was that in Turbo? What was that from?
The Magna Defender's in Lost Galaxy.
Okay, that rings a bell.
Yeah, he's got the horns that come out.
Yeah,
of his
yeah.
head. Yeah. He's awesome. I have his figure.
I was
Yeah.
like, where is he? But he's over.
I don't want to mess up my display.
Okay, no, don't mess with the display.
I'd have to knock over Kimberly to get him. I know. Yeah.
Please
Don't do-
leave Kimberly standing.
Yeah, I know.
Do you think the tribunal was like, we should keep an eye on this more often? There's what's going on over here
Yeah.
in this
I'm
little
pretty-
city?
As
What's
soon
their
What do they
job
do?
otherwise?
What do they do?
Yeah, I don't know.
They just play
Like-
electronic
Just take
football.
naps.
Yeah.
Be like,
I-
oh, there's nothing going on today. I'm gonna go take a magical nap.
They dry clean their costumes all day. Yeah. Crisp. Keep it crisp.
Yeah.
That sea air isn't good for them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they get bestowed upon them a legendary mode. What do you guys
Mhm.
think of the
Which is cool.
suits on? They lose the capes.
They lose the capes, but they look cool.
I
They
think
look
some of them
sick.
look better than others, but they do look really cool. Yeah. I do. I
Don't-
kind of like that the faces fan out. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
I'm gonna look them up. You
Yeah,
say
I
some
thought they
look
were gonna
better than
keep
And they're
others?
like number
like the rest of the
thingy.
season.
Their staffs have like the 1 through
The-
5
like the
The
rotary.
rotary phone,
Yeah,
yeah.
like rotary phone
Rotary phone
on a
stick.
staff. That's kind of different.
Their wands are cell phones too. And in the first episode, when they get the wands, they're like wooden Harry Potter wands. And then Udana's like, "Sorry, I forgot you guys are like teenagers." They turn them into cell phones.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'd be like, give me back my wand.
Yeah.
When I saw the cell phone magic things, I was like, this is exactly the show that would
I
come
feel
out
like
in
they're going
2006.
back in time with the
Yeah.
rotary phone, though. Like they went from cell phones to rotary phones,
Mhm.
Well, you know, it's funny because all
How do
that
they know
stuff-
how to use them?
right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. Well, they glowed. I like when they got the new number; it glowed in sequence. So the Red Ranger was like 3, then 4.
I liked it because that was the first time where you kind of see that they like don't automatically know exactly what to do. Like every
Right.
time we
True.
watched Power Rangers get new powers, at least for me, they always just seem they know what to do. They're like, yeah, okay, I've never been in this before, but I know what to do. Where
Yeah.
this one they were like, what do we do? Oh, look, it's lighting up.
That's a great point because, like, even in this season, they become their Megazords, and then even when they they become their Zords, and then when they become the Megazord, it's like that thing where they're vaguely waving their hand over a thing, and like
Yeah.
it's magic.
Yeah.
But then in Operation Overdrive, when Xander is one of the Rangers piloting the Megazord, he's sitting in the cockpit with like the controls. So
Mhm.
you'd think he'd be there, like, where do I wave my wands? Like, where's the They're like,
Yeah.
no, there's buttons now. You have to press buttons. He's like, I don't know how. No, like, let's keep putting the magic back. You know.
I'm a magic person, not a button
Yeah,
person.
but he knew what to do. So it's just like, I guess they just.
there
It's
was
like
probably like a file given on the ride from
yeah, like they have to sit there and read up on the Megazord. But even in Mighty Morphin, they have that line where they're like, it's like I just know what to do. You know.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm looking at the legendary modes now. The Blue Ranger has a mohawk in it. I didn't.
Yeah,
there's
she's
Wait,
a-
got
Doug,
like an
speaking of
aquatic
Mighty
vibe.
Morphin,
It's like
or
I think
Mac,
it's supposed to be like a fin.
yeah, when they go through the first door actually and they end up in the sand, I thought it was gonna be a throwback to the first Mighty Morphin episode. Like, are they gonna run into the other guys? I got
Oh.
excited, but
Oh, I
I
see.
didn't.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. But Mystic
You
Force
should have
is
been with us
definitely-
last week.
I know.
I would have, man.
I know that was a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Adam
did-
was there.
They do the mystic, the legendary modes. They look cool. They all look like the Gold Ranger from Zeo.
They do. They've got the
Mhm.
staff and they've got the big shield, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
I like how their helmets resemble their visor shape when they
Yeah,
go into
their
their
element.
yeah,
Mhm.
like it kind of like because like they each have their specific visor shape that represents their power, and then that kind of translates into the rest of the helmet. Although when Chip shoots lightning in one of the early scenes, I was like, is that really lightning? It didn't look like you shot, like it looks like you shot a rainbow. You know, but when the bad guy landed, he was all like full of lightning. So I was like, okay, I guess it was lightning. Yeah.
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 And
Yeah,
then
I was
there's a-
generally like impressed with the costume designs of like everybody. Like the legendary suits were cool, and all the villains. I was just like my mind was getting blown. Like, wow, kids watch this. This is nuts.
I know.
And the 50 Below, I love that he was basically Yeti Jason from Friday the 13th.
I know. When
Yeah,
he
right.
first showed up, I was like, what's his weapon? And then when it was a hockey stick, I was like, okay, yeah. I, was like, I didn't get it at first. I didn't even get that he had a hockey mask on until later.
And then
I'm
like
oh.
the dog was like Anubis or something. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
The dog kind of looked like one of the, like a Star Fox like pilot or something.
Mm.
You know, like that. Anyway.
And then I thought the episode was over, and then they had another Megazord fight.
Yeah.
That
I
was,
remember-
that was the
that?
one I woke up for. I fell asleep for the other one.
I was watching the clock, and
Yeah.
I was like, "There's all right, there's 4 minutes left in this episode. This fight's about to be over." And then there was another one. I'm like, "What?"
I know. I was literally putting lipstick on, and then I went, "What?" I was like, "There's more."
That's why I
Follow
was
the
like,
action.
I didn't miss anything. Glad I woke up.
Yeah. But it's another Megazord fight. They destroy him, and then they make the cake and have the party at the end.
Yeah.
But I was like, I was caught off guard. I was like, whoa, there's another fight going on.
It was like very fight dense. I thought it was like the action was way
there
denser
was
than
a
it
lot
was
of
when I was a
fighting.
kid.
Yeah, I think as a kid I would have been like, cool, another fight.
Right?
Well,
Oh,
it
man.
almost
No, there was a lot of good fight scenes in this one.
I don't know if they feel the pressure to adapt as much of the action from the Sentai episodes they're picking, but it almost felt like you didn't need it. Like you could save that for another episode or something, But
Mhm.
it was, but yeah, I mean, I'm not going to turn
This
down
is
more
the
action.
blockbuster Dark Wish, Mac.
I know, I
The
know.
blockbuster.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Blockbuster.
I saw overall. What do you all think? Thumbs up, in the
I
middle,
liked it.
down.
I
I did.
I think I liked it. I mean, I think that like ultimately the truth is that I actually like Mystic Force,
Mhm.
and we don't watch it a lot, but I think that it's such a unique season. There's no other season about magic.
Yeah.
So it's hard not to enjoy what makes it special.
Mhm.
And people like Korag, I think, really sell it. Like they had some cool like Korag said, "Without honor, victory is meaningless." I thought that was a hard line. Like that's a cool line,
Yeah.
And like even though it was a little corny, I did like when Nick and Xander were talking, and Xander's like, "What happens if it gets worse when we get inside?" And then Nick's like, "Then it gets worse."
Yeah.
And I kind of like that. I was like, "Yeah, you face it because you're superheroes,"
Yeah.
But-
I
Good
like
point.
that.
Yeah, I don't really know how to give a thumbs up for Power Rangers because it's not like my area of expertise. But
You and me both.
I had fun. I was kind of falling asleep in the middle a little bit. Like,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
normally when you're watching like a kids show and it's 22 minutes, it goes by really fast. But this one was like, man, there's still 2 more of these.
Yeah.
I know.
I think the first episode was my least favorite because it just felt like so
Yeah.
much setup.
It was all set up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
then the
feel
second
like
episode was
1 and
great.
2 could have been one episode.
They could have
agree.
cut it down. I mean, I hope
Yeah.
the DVD cut some of that fat.
No,
So they probably,
But
probably
yeah.
add.
longer.
No, I'm just
Probably
kidding.
add, yeah. Probably not.
My favorite line was in the first episode. I think it was Nick and Chip talking. I actually wrote it down.
My
And
Rangers.
I think Nick says there's got to be an easier way to defeat evil, and Chip says maybe we can eat our way to victory.
Oh yeah.
That just totally set the stage for me. Like, all right, I'm watching Power Rangers again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how they're like, can we just like wish these people away? And it's like, Udana's like, no, like you gotta kill him.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, excuse me, but this is magic stuff, like wars of knights and elves. So I did like too how much Chip is so proud to be the Yellow Ranger. It feels like he says it all the time.
Oh yeah.
He's like, yellow power. Like, yeah, yellow.
I
Yeah,
wear
yeah.
the yellow shirt. She's in blue.
Yeah.
He was pumped.
I love like how he was explaining who was who by what color they were wearing.
When they were
Yeah.
riding the dragon too, and Chip was like, "Isn't this exciting? We don't know if we're gonna die or not." Like, I was like, "Settle down, Chip."
He
Yeah.
was so excited. I
was
love
excited.
his enthusiasm.
And then when
Yeah.
they land in the like middle of nowhere, he's like, I don't know if I feel like dying might have been better.
Well, he's like the Arthurian nerd of the group. He's totally into that fantasy stuff. He wants to live up that D&D life. But
Yeah.
I wish that was real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys tell me, like, how does this like Mystic Force rate or stack up to like other series for you?
I think that when it's
People
all
like
said
it?
and done, it's not as popular as other seasons. I would say that probably ranks kind of low for most
Yeah.
fans. But
I can't tell you how it ranks in terms of the other seasons, but I did put up a poll. Not a lot because I just put it up not too long ago, but I asked, thumbs up or thumbs down on Mystic Force. It was like 130 to 15 thumbs up.
oh,
Nice.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
lot of
And,
people like
and
it.
then I said capes versus no capes, 100 to 35 saying yes to capes. They like the
Yeah,
capes.
the capes are cool. The capes are
I
cool.
actually got used to the capes. I know last week I was totally bashing Xander in his cape. I was like, why is he wearing a cape? But this episode, I was like, yeah, I like the capes. The capes.
The capes are cool.
I
Yeah.
kind of missed the capes when they went away. I was like, oh, no more.
They're like
capes.
they have like
Yeah.
little Robin capes, you know?
Yeah, they're not the full capes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like the half capes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I did ask about this episode specifically. Dark Wish, thumbs up, thumbs down. 112 thumbs up to 10 thumbs down. So
Okay, people like
Okay.
Dark
It's
Witch.
popular. People
Yeah.
I
like
love
it.
how you
That's
then
great.
ended it with, can you guess what we're watching next week?
yeah. Yeah. It's all Mystic Force. Yeah.
But I feel like most of your polls end up being positive.
Yeah. Because we're polling Power Ranger fans.
We're polling
you know?
Power
Yeah.
But then the funny thing is that like last week's episode, it was polling okay, but then the comments were like, no, we all hate RPM, or we all hate Operation Overdrive. You know?
Yeah. I got
Um,
some of those from last week. My phone's about to die, but we'll if I can grab them. So last week we watched Operation Overdrive. I said best Power Ranger episode ever? Question
Because it
mark.
was
Or
great.
best crossover, right?
I
or
said
did you
best episode ever.
Oh shit! Well, I don't even
Oh,
know if I
wow.
agree with that. I don't like
Wow.
keep my name off that statement. I'm not- only the Sith deal in absolutes, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it's pretty good.
It is pretty good, but I don't know if I'd say it's the best episode ever. But
Oh yeah,
Uh,
because you put it as number 1 out of like the 5 episodes you posted.
I put like you should the 5 episodes I said you should watch before Power Rangers
Okay.
leave Netflix, and
Yeah,
that was pretty
yeah.
good. But anyway, let's see. Someone says not even close to the best crossover. Honestly, probably the only good Overdrive episode. I
That
thought
might
it-
be true.
No.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
mean it has to be true because of the nostalgia, and Adam and
It's
yeah.
easily the best Overdrive episodes. You know, like you can't. Yeah, it's got. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Well, so I want to know what's like considered a controversial Power Rangers opinion, because I remember I actually saw one of your videos where Caitlin said she hadn't watched The Mandalorian, and in the first 2 episodes
I
were
got
like
so
really
much heat
slow
for
and she
that.
wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I said the exact same thing in our video, so I agree with you.
Oh,
And that's
thank
there
you.
you go.
I just finished though. I was like crying my eyes out. My eyes out. I was texting
Yeah,
these
it got
boys. I was
better,
like,
yeah.
I just finished.
Yeah, I have a lot of controversial Star Wars
It
opinions.
was
but
a
I
hard
wanna
one to
know-
get through.
I want to know a controversial Power Rangers opinion.
I think that anything negative is controversial because most Power Ranger fans are just riding the ride. You know, like they just
Yeah.
love the
They're
ride.
just
I know.
just
I know
chilling.
the controversy. I know what the
Oh, what
controversy
is it?
is.
What's
Jason
that?
versus Tommy.
That's what I was
That's a
guessing, but,
debate,
like-
but it's like
That's-
not
It's a
like
debate,
but that's a healthy debate. People
It-
have points to say on either
it?
side.
is it?
Well, I just mean that like I don't know if a Ranger fan would be upset if you picked one over the other. Like I feel like
that's
there's
true.
something to be said
The
about
Green
about
Ranger being a female.
oh that
No,
was
that was
one
dumb.
dude,
That
that
was-
one dude.
there's a guy for those there's a person I unfollowed because they were just going on a rant because the Green Ranger this season is cast as a female, and they're like,
I was
Hasbro,
like,
how could you do
"Yay!"
this? The Green
What?
Ranger is not female. And it's like,
Yeah.
bro.
I think if you
Apparently
said
girls
that
don't
Operation Overdrive has some of the best acting in Power Rangers, that would be controversial.
Yeah.
People would be like, "What are you talking about, man?" Yeah.
They have the best
Controversial, I
hiding
don't
of their
know.
accents.
Yeah, I mean,
For
that was the first time we've ever really been called out. But that one dude had our back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I'll
thought it
pull
was a
up.
great episode.
Yeah, I'll pull it
Yeah.
up. I was like, my phone died because I was looking at my phone, but it's not like I'm on a computer.
Internet.
Let me pull it up.
When you asked me what our favorite episodes were, I wanted to go through my notes and be like, because some of them I write like a ton of notes for, and then like I was going through, and like one of them, it was so funny. It was like one Time Force episode, and I only wrote one thing. I was like, this intro is great. Like, that's all I wrote. I was like, I guess that one didn't make a really big impact on me, but
Yeah.
I think so far the only season we've watched multiple episodes of, and every time I walk out thinking it was a great episode, is anything from Zeo. Like every time we watch Zeo, I'm
Mm.
just very happy. I
Zeo's
just
a
really
good
like
season.
Zeo.
Yeah. So this is actually, I found the one from last week for the person who had our back. And guess what? This is from Carnage, who recommended this episode
Oh,
that
is
we
it?
watched. Yeah. So they said, I know Forever Red is considered to be the best crossover episode, but I actually like this one better. I think that's because the returning Rangers actually felt like they carried the legacy of being a Ranger and felt a sense of duty to return, as opposed to the Red Rangers being there because ... That was the gimmick. Also, it's interesting to see the Rangers from different teams forming a new one, and they have a lot of moments in these episodes to show that they're actually got to be
Well
friends.
said.
That was really well said, and I think that
Better well said than what we could ever say.
yeah, but it's true. Like all the Red Rangers together is a gimmick, you know, and like it's like it is cool to see them all together, but they didn't even necessarily do anyone justice
Too
beyond
many
like
Red Rangers in one
yeah,
episode.
like Cole got to be cool in it, and
Mhm.
Jason was cool in it, but that's about it.
Yeah. So I think maybe that is a controversial saying once a Ranger's better than Forever Red. Because on the surface, everyone just like, oh, all the Red Rangers, that's the best season. Oh, that's the best
Yeah.
crossover. You know?
Well, those are like the only 2 episodes. That one and I think like Day of the Dumpster. The only episodes I know by name.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
yeah.
I don't think I watched.
But I want to watch
the Red
those.
Ranger one.
I think the Red Ranger one I like looked up clips on YouTube years ago. Just like, oh, this sounds interesting.
It's a good
So
episode. Don't get me
watch the
wrong.
whole thing.
I'm just saying. I think once a Ranger, you get
I
more
loved
character
Once a Ranger.
moments.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. I mean, I think that it's I mean, it's 2-parter, so they get a little bit more time with the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, there's way more personality in it. I mean, with the Red Ranger episode, there's even so many to account for that it would be unrealistic to think that they all get a lot of attention. But the fact that like it's not even every Red Ranger, like Rocky's left out,
Mhm.
and
Poor
they made
Rocky.
yeah, Rocky
No.
got left out. And then like weird decisions like almost making him a butler and like Tommy being like this like poolside douchebag with like Bulk and Skull being his bartenders. What is
What?
this?
I gotta
Like-
see that.
Yeah. Like
If
who
we ever
who
do a revisit, we'll bring you in.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, I think that's. Oh, someone also said it doesn't even crack the top 10 or 15 best episodes of Power Rangers. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, I thought like maybe if we're only
That's-
talking about crossovers, it definitely deserves credit. But
Yeah.
maybe there are better episodes if we're talking about like all 500 plus, like you were saying.
Mhm.
But
I
Yeah.
guess.
It's hard
I
because
don't really
Power
have an
Rangers is kind of weighed sometimes on a curve, like nostalgia vibes for everyone. So you never know.
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, obviously, yeah, everyone's gonna say, you know, most people are gonna pick what they liked as kids, and that's hard to deny, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm. Gen 1ers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pokemon people.
I know.
Yeah.
Don't talk any.
Yeah.
Don't go
Uh,
past Gen 3 for anybody.
Yeah. Cool. I think that kind of wraps it up. Jaron, you're out of focus.
I'm out of focus. Oh,
Yeah, for
hey, I'm
me.
here.
Are you out of?
Yeah,
Are you out of
I
focus?
think my
for them?
camera is like trying to be too smart, and then it got unsmart. So sorry, I'm out of focus for
Yeah.
right now.
That's okay. We can see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But tell us again where we can find your channel. Like what's it called? And
Yeah,
those
it's
things?
called Reel Bros Reviews. That's real like a film reel. But yeah,
I like
come hang out
that.
with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. We made this really cool animation. I'm so proud of it
Yeah.
for the beginning of the videos. But yeah, I would love for everyone to like hang out with us and give us feedback, leave us comments on stuff you guys think we could do better, from an audience perspective, or just other stuff you'd want us to cover. So yeah, we just love doing that stuff. So any feedback is welcome. We're like huggy guys, and so we're giving you
Aw.
virtual hugs.
Nice. I
Virtual
like
hug.
it.
Well, we
Yeah.
can't hug in person anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's it.
Well, wait.
Wait. What?
We can't let Jaron go, like, because we have to ask him a couple Power Ranger questions beyond just this episode while we have him.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm game.
Who's your favorite Power Ranger?
Oh, great
Jason.
questions.
Yeah,
Jason for sure.
Yeah.
Jason. Okay, so what color Ranger do you tend to like most? Is it always going to be red, or do you sometimes like have an affinity for a particular color regardless?
When I was younger, I think I just liked the red ones because but I remember when they switched from like Mighty Morphin to Turbo and Zeo and all that,
Mhm.
I was confused that the Red Ranger wasn't Jason anymore. I'm like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
So I would buy like Red Ranger action figures, and then I would watch the show afterward, and it wasn't Jason. I'm like, okay. But yeah, my favorite color is really more blue.
Okay.
Yeah, and then this past episode I watched, I think Xander, who's green, was my favorite.
Yeah, he's definitely a highlight. Yeah.
Yeah, he's great. I feel bad we didn't watch Once a Ranger with us.
Yeah. Well, they kind of make sense in Once a Ranger now because you're like Xander's so popular and Bridge from SPD is so popular. We can't bring back 2 Green Rangers, so let's just bump up.
Make Bridge a Red Ranger. But they really did a good job because Kira and Tori are great. They're really those are great Rangers too. Like they did a good job curating that team, in my opinion. But anyway, I couldn't let you go without asking that.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you guys about the Jason versus Tommy debate. Like, who do you guys pick, or is it, I guess, based on like who's your overall favorite, not necessarily who would win in a fight?
I like Jason better.
They're 1 for 1, right? So Tommy beat Jason as a Green Ranger, but then Jason really beat Tommy in the Turbo movie, but also
that's what I was about to say.
Also Tommy wasn't fighting back, right?
Yeah, he was like holding back. And Jason was evil in the Turbo movie.
I like Tommy as the Red Ranger.
Is Red Zeo Ranger?
Yeah, no, wait, no, as the Green Ranger. I'm confused now.
Okay.
I like Tommy as a Ranger, but I like Jason when he's evil.
Okay.
Yeah, sexy.
I haven't
evil
watched
Jason.
enough of Mighty Morphin to have an opinion on Jason. I really have only seen him in the Turbo movie.
And Zeo, you were just saying how much like Zeo. He's the Gold Ranger.
He's the Gold Ranger.
Sorry, and Zeo.
I think I like Jason in theory, but I'm also I'm also biased because he's really good in the comic book.
I would check out the comics.
The comics are really good, and Jason, Tommy, I think as the Green Ranger wasn't really like leader material, but then like he's a great leader in Zeo. So I don't know. It's hard to say. Like I really like him as the Red Zeo Ranger. So
as a kid, I totally would have had a crush on Jason.
Yeah.
I
know.
100%.
I know when we were watching the Turbo movie and then Toy Turd pointed out like how like much more attractive he became when he was evil. I'm like, I can't deny that. Like that's
I think I also liked Jason as a kid because his name's just one letter different from Jaron.
Yeah.
Right. Hard not to like that.
Yeah. Tommy, because he has the longevity. He's been in all these
got the cooler costume too.
Yeah. Multiple cool costumes. So yeah,
I know. I do like the Tommy or I like the Jason legacy a lot. I kind of even like him in Dino Thunder better than some other seasons. Like I don't know. Like I think the mentor role worked well for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
I like Tommy as Dr. O. Or
yeah,
Grandpa.
Dr. O.
I like Grandpa Tommy too.
Oh, Grandpa Tommy from Zeo was so funny.
Dr. O, I can't believe he's a doctor.
Yeah, I know Adam. Yeah, I got better grades than that guy. Like, remember that botany episode? I was carrying Rocky.
Yeah,
like
but that
Rocky
debate will always go on.
Rocky
doesn't want. Yeah, Rocky doesn't
never
get
gets enough.
No, Rocky doesn't get his due. Yeah.
No.
I will say that Jason isn't my favorite Red Ranger of all time, though, despite being great. Like I like other Red Rangers more than him. So
I don't know if I have a favorite.
Yeah, I feel like I got to learn more of these opinions. So that'll take a while, much more than we can figure out right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do a crash course. Definitely go back to Lost Galaxy because Leo will just rip his shirt off like Captain Kirk in the middle of it. Pretty awesome.
If you want to get a crash course with Power Rangers, watch the episode we watched like a few weeks ago. What was it?
The Legacy one.
Yeah, Legacy of Power. I think it was Dino Thunder, like
down.
episode 4.
Yes,
Tommy gives you the whole history
Legacy of Power.
Rangers.
Yeah,
yep, episode 4.
It's like a video diary from Tommy, and he just breaks down what you need to know from Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's okay. Thank you.
Yeah. But sweet. I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else on the table?
I've checked my notes. I'm good.
Yeah. great episode. Thank you. Keep them coming.
Okay.
I think that's it. Until next week, it's not less phenomenal. It's more
More
phenomenal.
phenomenal.